remarkably thrilled to be here to read a chapter of my groundbreaking superhero story, The Supadupa Kid. And first thing I want to do is shout out my man Alvin Irby for having me be a guest here today, and really excited to read into my story. Looks like I might be having some technical difficulties, or maybe not. So first thing I'm going to do is tell you about my little boo-boo. I actually just came from a trip to the doctor, and the doctor had to take blood, and that's never really bothered me very much. But I thought I would bring that up because it seems to be like this distracting thing. Like, why does this guy have this thing on his arm? And I usually, when I get my needle taken, I like to request to have a cartoon sticker, and they had no cartoon stickers, like a superhero sticker or a Snoopy sticker or Band-Aid rather, and they didn't have one. So look what the lady did. She, the person who took my blood, put a little smiley face on my Band-Aid, which I thought was very cute. I see Alvin checking in. What up, Alvin? So again, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come here at Barbershop Books to talk about my superhero story, The Supadupa Kid. My name is author Ty Allan Jackson, and I am the author of 4 books, so I'm going to showcase a few of those books to you. My very first book is titled Danny Dollar. It teaches kids about finance and entrepreneurship. I'm actually working on a spin-off of this right now. My second book that I ever wrote is titled When I Close My Eyes. It is a picture book that talks about the power of imagination. My most recent book is titled You Are Amazing, I Am Amazing. It is actually 2 books in one, and a book that you can read to your child or that your child can read to themselves. But the book that I'm going to read to you today is probably my most popular book among kids, and that is The Supadupa Kid. And The Supadupa Kid is a classic good versus evil superhero story. As a kid growing up, I loved superheroes. I actually still love superheroes. As a matter of fact, if you was to check out my office, I have action figures and posters. Like, I'm still a big kid when it comes to superheroes. I think they're just like, they mean the world to me. And if you think about the mythology of superheroes, or just superheroes in general, what does superheroes stand for? Now really think about it. And it doesn't matter whether it's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Panther. They all kind of stand for something. They all stand for goodwill, courage, nobility, honor, respect, like courage, strength. You know, superheroes have this kind of the characteristics that we all would like to see within themselves. So it was so important for me to be able to create a character that had those type of characteristics. And for it to be a young black kid, like, I thought that that's really important. There doesn't seem to be a lot of superheroes of color, and certainly very few that are kids. And so the fact that kids are kind of my primary target, and that I love superheroes, I thought it would be a great idea to create a kid superhero, and that's where the Supadupa Kid comes into play. And sorry, there was a note there that I decided to read, but I see that, that the letters are backwards on here. I got it. So, trust me when I say, it says the Supadupa Kid here. I actually got the idea to write this book from a trip to Home Depot, believe it or not. You ever walk into a Home Depot? And so one day I go into a Home Depot and I'm looking for glue. I need glue for something. And as I'm walking down the aisle, I see this tube, and the name of the tube is called Supadupa Glue. And when I saw the name and the way the packaging was, I said, that seems like a really good name for a superhero. And literally, right there in the Home Depot, that's where I got the idea from to write this story. And I went home and I started writing about this book titled The Supadupa Kid. So I'm going to read from chapter 3, but I'm going to give you a little backstory before I read this chapter. So Javon Williams is just an ordinary average kid. He loves music and basketball. He's just an average kid. He's got a best friend. His best friend's name is Ronald. Ronald is kind of dorky, super smart, smartest kid in school, wins the science fair every year, and the two of them are just besties. There's also a bully. This bully's name is Hoodie, and Hoodie is everything that a bully should be. He's mean, he's tough, he's big, he's angry, and he's just got it out for Jovan. He doesn't like him at all. So one day, it's raining, and Jovan has an umbrella, and the two of them are fighting for the umbrella. Little did Jovan know is that earlier in the day, Hoodie put some glue onto the umbrella so that when he opened it, he wouldn't be able to get his hands off of it. And so later on in the day, when it starts raining, Jovan pulls out the umbrella, and Hoodie tries to take it from him. They both have their hands on the umbrella and grabbing the glue in addition to the handle. And that's when lightning strikes the umbrella. It strikes the umbrella with Jovan and Hoodie holding control of the umbrella with the glue on their hands. And the combination of the lightning strike and the chemicals from the umbrella fuse into both Jovan and Hoodie, giving them superpowers. Sounds really awesome, right? So, what I'm going to read from you is chapter 3. This is actually when Jovan comes home from the hospital after being struck by lightning and noticing some really strange things are going on. So, I'm going to read chapter 3 of the Supadupa Kid. When I opened my eyes, everything was white. White walls, white floors. I was even wearing white pajamas. I figured I was in heaven until Denise, his sister, opened her big mouth and then I thought I might be in HEE hockey sticks. And then I heard my mom and dad, and I knew that I was in the hospital. Mom was crying and Dad was standing above me with a look on his face I will never forget. "How are you feeling, son?" he asked. I was a little weak and my hands felt numb, but I was okay. It's a true miracle that you're in one piece. Who would think that a skinny kid like you could take such a lightning blast from a lightning bolt? You're much sturdier than you look, and you're lucky to be alive, Dr. Harris said as she shone a light in my eyes. They told me about the lightning that hit the umbrella, and the doctor told me that the glue on my umbrella handle may have saved my life. Glue? What glue? I asked, confused. Your friend Hoodie put glue on your umbrella as a prank, Dr. Harris said. So that's what Hoodie was doing behind the tree. He was putting glue on the inside of my umbrella so when I dropped it, so it could drop on my head when I opened it. So why did he try to take it from me if he knew there was glue on it? That dude is even dumber than he looks. Hey Doc, what happened to Hoodie? He left the hospital 4 days ago. 4 days ago? How long have I been here? You've been in a coma for 2 weeks, Mom said. Wow. I've been knocked out for 2 weeks. My breath must be really funky. Ever been asleep for a long period of time and your breath feels a little ugh? So that's what he felt like because he had just gotten out of the hospital after being unconscious for 2 weeks. I'm going to read chapter 4, and this is my favorite chapter of the book. And the reason it is because it kind of exposes for the very first time that Jovan Williams, the main character, that something's really wrong. 3 days after I left the hospital, I was feeling pretty good. I was dying to go back to school, but my parents thought I needed to relax for a few more days. Although having Denise bugging me most of the time hadn't been exactly relaxing. It was on the 4th day that I began to notice some strange things happening around the house. One afternoon, I woke up from a nap to find my computer, my game system, and every light in the room had been turned on. That stuff wasn't on when I went to sleep. Denise was at school, so she couldn't have done it, and Mom said she had no idea either. I also noticed that when I walked past the television, it would get a little fuzzy. The weirdest thing of all is when I picked up a bag of microwave popcorn and it started popping before I put it in the microwave. Wow. Can you imagine holding a bag of microwave popcorn and all of a sudden it started popping? Before you even put it in the microwave, like right in your hand, you would totally freak out. And that's what was happening with Jovan. I couldn't tell my mom I could be a walking microwave because she would just overreact. And if I told my dad, he would probably send me to NASA to be examined. And there was no way I was going to tell my big mouth sister Denise because the last secret I told her got me grounded for a month. So I called Ronald He's been my best friend since we were babies. He's more like a brother than a friend, although no one would ever confuse us for brothers. I'm real skinny and he's a little pudgy. Whenever we stand next to each other, kids say that we look like the number 10. Ronald is super smart. He's a straight A student in every class, and his favorite subject is science. He won the first prize at the state science fair 3 years in a row. You know that science experiment where you hook up a battery to a light bulb to make it glow? Well, Ronald figured out how to store his own electricity by only using a styrofoam cup, a metal pan, a nail, and a battery. You could even see the sparks coming out of the cup. It was pretty cool. If anyone could help me figure out this mess, it would be Ronald. So I was really happy when he came into my room. As we greeted each other with our usual secret handshake, a spark shot from my fingertips, startling us both. Ow! What in the name of Benjamin Franklin was that? Ronald yelped. Whoa, dude, are you okay, man? My hands feel like it's on fire, Ronald said, blowing on his fingertips. Yo, that's why I called you. Something strange is happening to me. It's the lightning strike. I know it. It's affecting me somehow. Stuff has been freaking out on me all day. I blew up my toaster, shorted out the fridge, and even set my electric toothbrush on fire. Impossible. This is seriously strange, Ronald said. I'm not kidding. I believe you. It just sounds bizarre. Are you feeling any different? I feel great. Actually, I feel fantastic. No dizziness, fainting, or confusion, Ronald said. Nope, I'm all good. Well, then maybe we should perform a few experiments to enable us to fully understand what's going on with you. Okay, but I'm not wearing those gowns where my buns are hanging out again. Ronald took the light bulb from out of the lamp. Here, take this and see if you can make it glow, he said. I looked at Ronald like he was crazy. I couldn't make it glow, could I? My heart started to pound. What if I could make the light bulb glow? Could it mean that I'm turning into some type of human generator? I closed my eyes, I grabbed onto the light bulb, and nothing happened. Whew, that was a relief, I thought to myself as I tried to get the light bulb back. Wait a moment, the experiment is not quite complete. Concentrate on something exciting. Let's get the adrenaline pumping before you give me the bulb back. Perhaps it's emotional stimuli that triggers the phenomenon. What? I asked. When you're excited, electrons pump through the gray matter in your brain and stimulate the body. I hypothesized that such stimulation could create a reaction that may illuminate the light bulb, Ronald said. I'm sorry, Ronald. I don't speak geek. Just do it, Ronald said. Do what? Joanne said. Get happy. Oh, why didn't you say that in the first place? Okay, I'll give it a try. Holding the light bulb, I thought about hitting a home run in the 9th inning to win the World Series. And then I could feel energy coursing through my body. My hands began to tingle and the bulb started to glow. Dim at first, and then brighter and brighter and brighter until the light bulb shattered into a million pieces. Ronald and I just looked at each other in silence, and then suddenly his eyes grew bigger, and he stumbled backwards until his back hit the wall. He was scaring the heck out of me. What's wrong? I stammered. I looked down and I realized that I was hovering 6 inches off the floor. That is the end of chapter 3 and 5 of my book, The Supadupa Kid. I really do love this story. It's just a classic superhero story that talks about discovering powers for the first time and the awkwardness of discovering that these things are happening to you, and then taking the responsibility of, what do you do with these powers now that you're a superhero? Like, do you save people? Like, what do you do? And especially when you're only 12 years old, you have no idea what the heck that this even means. And just to see the awkwardness of him trying to figure it out, and then finding the courage to actually be able to take the ideals of being a superhero, honor, respect, goodwill, courage, the things we talked about before, and having that inside a 12-year-old is pretty awesome. So I have really good news. So this book, The Supadupa Kid's about 6 years old. and I just finished the sequel. So this is the sequel to the Supadupa Kid. It is titled Move, and the reason that it is titled Move is because Jovan, the Supadupa Kid, gets a sidekick, and the sidekick's name is Muévate. Muévate is Spanish for move it, and the reason that her name is Muévate is because she has the power to move things with her mind. There's a name for that. Do you know what that's called? It's called telekinesis. Telekinesis means you have the power to move things with your mind, and that's what Muévate has. Muévate, again, stands for move it. So Supadupa Kid and Muévate are taking on dark matter. Dark matter is a young lady who gets superpowers and is able to control gravity and become invisible. I can't tell you how she gets her powers. You'll have to read the book for yourself. This book will be out in 1 month. A month from today, this book will be out, and you can get it at your local bookstore, or one of my favorite places in Harlem, if you happen to be there, is Grandma's Place on West 121st Street off of Lenox. I think that's where it is. You can look it up. But, so this is the Supadupa Kid Part 1. This is the Supadupa Kid Part 2. I am really proud of both of these works. I think they're fun. I think they're engaging. This is the back cover to each of them. I think it's a lot of fun. I did this back cover really specifically large like that, unlike this one, which shows Jovan and Hoodie, the Supadupa Kid, and his nemesis. This one I just did for the Supadupa Kid because something that became really popular lately in the world of books is doing a book face. And a book face is basically when you just take like the face of the book and put it, the cover of the book, and put it right in front of your face, so it kind of looks like you're the figure, you're the hero. And so I like the idea of kids taking this book, putting it right over their face, and taking photos of it, pretending that they're the Supadupa Kid. So that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed reading it to you. And I want to thank Alvin and the people over at Barbershop Books for letting me hang out with you for a little while. If you want to learn more about me, you can follow me on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, or feature me or find me on my website, which is TyAllanJackson.com. That's TyAllan Jackson.com. But you can find the link, just click on me here, and you can get in touch with me that way. Again, I thank you so much for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you again, Alvin, and the people at Barbershop Books for letting me hang out with you for today. Have a super duper weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.